Welcome to Indy's Real Estate Gurus. I'm Rick Ritma, your hardworking mortgage guy, and I've been in the real estate and mortgage business for over 34 years, helping over 5,200 folks finance their homes. My team and I believe in custom tailored loans, not the one-size-fits-all approach. We believe there is a best mortgage for you, and we believe we are the team to deliver it.
And I'm Ian Arnold, part of Rick's hardworking mortgage team, and I've worked in the financial industry for over 15 years, helping customers find the best possible financing. I'm an expert at building credit or increasing your credit score. My passion is helping you build your financial security and your overall wealth.
And we want to remind you, for the most up-to-date information on Indy's real estate market or mortgages, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com or 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. And today we are very excited to have Amber Gonzalez here with us. Amber is a phenomenal real estate agent. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here today.
We do appreciate it. And I mean, you do great volume. You've done a phenomenal job. What led you, what did you do before real estate? Where were you born, raised? What was your life like before real estate?
It seems like I've been in real estate forever, but I grew up in Franklin, Indiana. I've lived in Indiana all my life. I've lived on the south side near Franklin, in Indianapolis, actually on the west side of town, and now I'm located on the northeast side in Hamilton County. I went to school. I was bartending during school, and then I became I was leasing apartments at an apartment complex and became a leasing manager. So from there, I really liked connecting with people, getting in front of them, meeting their families, and showing them the model apartment. I did not like being tied down, though, to one area in leasing where you have to be there for at least 8 hours a day and you're not being able to go out and meet people or network. So that's kind of what led me into real estate.
Yeah. So you kind of were in real estate, just in a different aspect of it. Like I sold new homes, so I was in real estate. It's just a different aspect of it. And that is very much like being a real estate agent, a piece of the job, not the entire job.
Right.
There's a lot more to being a real estate agent.
There is much more to being a real estate agent. There is much, much more. And actually, when I was leasing homes, I was looking for something more fulfilling. So I was online searching for things. I knew real estate was always in the back of my mind, that I wanted to be involved in it in some aspect. So I went to new home builders at first that were hiring sales agents. And one of them in particularly, I went in, I did the DISC profile, which is like a personality profile if you aren't familiar with that. He came out and he was like, Amber, you know what? Like, you would be great for us. I think that you have a lot to offer. I can tell, you like to connect with people and help people, but I don't see you wanting to sit at a model home 8, 12 hours a day. And I kept thinking about that, and he was right. And he was like, I would, if I were you, get your real estate license. And I wanted to do that. That was just the thing I needed to hear to solidify it and get me going.
Yeah, because it's a big step.
Yeah.
To become a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm. You have to take the time to take the classes, and then take the state exam and the national exam. And once that's over, you get with a brokerage, and you really don't know what you're doing at that point. The classes don't teach you how to sign contracts and negotiate deals. You have to get out there and figure it out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it teaches you the legalities of everything.
It does.
And that's all it really teaches you.
Yes.
It
A lot of
doesn't teach you your
memorization
job.
is what I was doing.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then how about so that led you into real estate. So how did you get your real estate business going as you got into it? Because as we talked, that's the big piece, and that's why it's so intimidating for people, because it's not a salaried position. You have to get going.
You do. You have to take that first step, and it can be very scary, because if you wait and you try to figure things out and say, well, I got to get all my ducks in a row before I actually get out there and make a move. I need to build my database. I need to go to all these trainings. You're going to be behind the 8 ball, and you really just have to take action. So there's a lot of failing forward in real estate. training's very important, database is very important, but I do see agents getting hung up on just taking that first step and reaching out and calling people they know and getting in front of them and talking about what they do. So to get going, I started doing open houses is where I was most comfortable, like finding people and calling my sphere of influence. I was so lucky because my first customer was my dad. He let me sell one of his rental properties.
Awesome.
So that was a great experience to be able to figure out, okay, I can do these contracts. I was getting with my broker, making sure everything was going okay, but it wasn't easy by any means. I had to figure everything out as we went.
Right.
Your dad didn't fire you, did he?
He didn't. Can
No.
you believe it? It's a funny story. My dad's never been in real estate. He owns some rental properties, some investment properties, and he retired a few years ago from here in Indy, and he moved to Florida with his wife, Donna. He got there. He was retired for about a year, and I think started to get a little bored. And he has joined my team in Florida. So we have an expansion team, and my dad is the lead agent down there in Florida, and he's doing an amazing job.
Now, where in Florida?
The greater Tampa Bay area,
Okay.
so kind of Clearwater, St. Pete, Indian Rock, Sarasota, that area.
Well, there's so many people from Indiana who want to move to Florida.
There's a ton.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do lending in Florida, and it's surprising how much you get of people wanting to go from here to there, or not as much from there to here, but you still get some of it. But
I
most
spoke
of
with
it's
somebody
going back.
yesterday that's going from there to here. She did live in Indiana, but she has a job offer here. So we're helping her find a place here.
Awesome.
And hopefully helping her with her sell there in Florida.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, you also get the snowbirds a lot here too. Once
back
people
and forth.
reach a certain age, they're like, you know what, I'm retired. Or even the people now that can work from home. I'll just go I'll spend the winter down in Florida. So,
Right. Yeah.
so that's
Correct.
kind of nice.
I have a friend that I've helped probably sell like 5 properties to. They do investment properties. They live in Fountain Square here. She is so tired of the winter, and we are currently looking for a place in Florida for her and going to list her place in Fountain Square. So there is a lot of back and forth between Indy and Florida. So
Yeah, and it's great you can work with one agent,
yes,
right?
yes,
Just that makes it very convenient.
very streamlined.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I've noticed it seems like there's more and more agents that are being multi-state licensed.
I'm seeing that too.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great idea if you can manage it. The expansion teams are huge, and I'm excited to see where we can go with it.
Yeah.
I want to get some other areas in Florida as well with our team. That way we can take over some more area.
Now, how many people do you have on your team in Florida?
2 right now. We have
Okay.
2, and we're currently hiring.
All right.
So we have been just this last year. We started it last year, so we've been just making our systems and our processes and the foundation for Florida really well. So it's a well-oiled machine, and we can just plug people in so they can start and just catapult, into success with real estate there.
And are you keeping your dad under control?
Sometimes.
That can't be easy.
Yeah. No, he is great. He is like my sounding board. It's so fun to be able to work with him. I'm going down there to Florida here in a couple weeks, and we're going to do some meetings, and we're going to have some fun. He's going to be able to see his grandbaby that I had that's 3 months old, and I mean, we're very blessed to be able to do it together.
Awesome.
So when she means fun will be after she lectures him that he needs to sell more homes.
Come on,
but
Blake, we need-
you got to have it in line. All right,
Yeah.
let's go to lunch now. So when you got into the business, did you have a mentor or did anybody help you? Hey, these are the steps to go through.
When I started, I wish I would have had a mentor that I really leaned on. I kind of started, and our office was in some transition, and I did not jump into like a mentorship. In 2016 or 17, I really said, I'm going to take this real estate thing and see what I can do with it. And I did find a mentor. Our broker at the time, her name was Ann Rubel. She helped me and was coaching me a lot, and that did help my success significantly. I wish I would have joined a team when I started, because I would have been further faster.
Right.
I instead thought I can do this on my own, and I did do it successfully. but it took a lot more time. And if I would have just jumped in and had a mentor, it would have went a lot faster.
So what was one of the biggest hurdles starting up you had to go through?
Oh, mine was getting out of my own way, I would say. I was very shy when I started, which isn't great for real estate. I had to learn to be confident in myself. So I wouldn't have been able to sit here with you guys having this conversation with video cameras on me before. I would have been so nervous. What really helped me, I think, too, Keller Williams office offers a program called BOLD, and it's Building Our Life by Design. And it is an amazing program that really helped me get more confident and more comfortable speaking with people, meeting people, and not feel like I was out selling them, like just building these relationships. And I have something that can help you. And if it's not me that can help you, I'm going to point you in a direction of someone that can.
Yeah. Having mentors obviously matters, but having a process that works is a phenomenal thing. And I think that's one of the things I really, with somebody at Keller Williams, they've been trained. If they've been through Keller Williams, some of the other companies, same way, they're trained very well. They're given what they need to succeed.
Yes, we have a lot of tools at Keller Williams that you can plug into. Yep. It's just knowing which ones and which way you want to go with it. So sometimes it's trial and seeing what fits your personality and what you like to do best is what I teach my agents. Hey, we have all these avenues that we can, go in, but we're going to dig down deep, figure out what you like to do, and that's where you're going to be successful. And we're going to help you find it and figure out the best way to do that so you can leverage your time and still do a great real estate business.
Yeah. But they have to work the process. That's the other thing.
The process is so important.
You can give people the process. If they won't work it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Here's what you have to do. You got to do those things. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you don't have the success.
There are a lot of people that want to learn how to do something, and you do, share that information with them, and they don't start.
Right.
So that's correct. That's going back to that first leap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the BOLD program helped me not be as frightened to do things like that. Yeah.
When I started my first real job out of school I was in new car sales. I was in car sales, and that was one where you had to learn how to do it, Mm-hmm. and you saw so many people who wouldn't put forth the effort to learn what to do.
Right.
And they had training right there, and Ian was in car sales also, and it's the same thing. Those who flourished in it learned the process, learned how to sell, right?
Yes, and there's a system, and it's systematic for a reason. And I meet people that want to skip steps because they want to jump ahead, and it doesn't work.
No.
So we want it to, but it doesn't. Like,
right.
You have to go through this systematic process, and you don't have to invent the wheel, right? We've done it for you.
Yep. I know we are coming up on the break. So what if somebody wants to get in touch with you? What's the best way?
So they can reach out to me. My name is Amber Gonzalez, and I'm a realtor here with Keller Williams. My cell phone number would be the best way. It's 317-246-8066, 317-246-8066. And you can find us anywhere on social media or online at agrealtyadvisors.com.
Man, she knew exactly what to say.
She did.
All right, Rick, let's see what you can do. How would they get a hold of us?
I think it's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com or 317-672-1938. 317-672-1938. You know what I should do is put a thing up behind the camera so I can read it like I really remember it.
Oh, how neat would that be?
Yeah, that'd be it only took me like 6 years to think of that, right? I mean, come on.
All right. And after the break, we'll find out what is Amber's superpower.
Ooh.
I love superpowers.
Especially Superman's.
Yes.
All right. Welcome back from the break. Before we get into what is Amber's superpower, let's do Question of the Week. The Question of the Week is sponsored by, Rick and Ian, the Hardworking Mortgage Guys, where we believe in helping and supporting you and your realtor by sending constant updates on your loan process. Contact us today at hardworkingmortgageguys.com for any questions that you might have.
So what's the question of the week?
Oh, you ready for this?
I am.
Positive. You may have heard this last week.
I want to answer it.
What was your first car?
My first car, it was a Toyota Corolla. So
that's a good car.
Yeah, my first car, what I thought was going to be my first car was a Geostorm. and it was purple. And I thought it was the coolest little car, right? I love the color. And my parents thought it wasn't a very safe car for me. So we got the Toyota Corolla. And it was a really good car. It went forever.
Yeah, Toyotas last a long time.
It did.
Yes. Yeah, that's all. Is there a different car that's more memorable, or do you have good memories of that car?
I have good memories of that car. There was another, I don't know. Okay, I honestly don't know what kind of car it was. It was like an Oldsmobile. Okay. Like the Toyota wasn't working, and I had this Oldsmobile. That one is memorable, but not for good things, because when I like put it into drive or neutral, sometimes like there was smoke that came out of the shifting gear. At one
that's
point.
Normal. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
That's the difference between Toyota and Oldsmobile.
Right? So there you go. Yeah, young and those cars was a lot of interesting times.
So who was driving the Geo Storm that they didn't give you?
Oh, my cousin got that car, so I was not very happy because I really liked the Geo Storm. But
it was safe enough for him or her?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm just curious.
They had more experience driving than me. Yeah. They were a couple years older.
I just always found it funny when I would, you'd have a family bring their son in to buy a car, right?
Yeah.
First car. And they'd go, we just want the cheapest thing on the lot. What do you got? And they'd buy, a junker. Mm-hmm. They'd bring their daughter in a year later, and they're buying a brand new car.
Oh, my goodness.
And I just always found that funny. But I want to get on to the superpower, because I want to know if you have Superman superpowers, or what superpowers or power that you have.
Okay, so I think my power would be connecting people and just getting to know them. I feel like people can call me and be in a very not great mood. I had somebody this week that called, and I was like, hey, how's it going, for the first time? And they're like, they couldn't even get out the word frustrated because they were so frustrated. And that they were in real estate transactions, and they weren't having success. So that was my first conversation with them. By the time we got off the phone, she was laughing and super excited again to start looking for a place. Before that, she was fed up and done. So I think just connecting with people, finding out, hey, what's going on, and then showing them the solution to how to solve it. I mean, that can make or break your relationship and your day, right? She ended up being in such a happier mood. So I think that's my superpower, even though I'd like to be able to like read minds or something, but.
Yeah, that would be great. Or fly.
Or teleport.
Jump. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Be able to leap tall buildings in a single bound.
This podcast in like Bali or the Maldives or something.
Yeah, that would be. You know what we should do is green screen it. We could look like we're there.
I'm down.
Just gotta paint the walls green.
I think that's really great that you can calm somebody down, because sometimes you don't think about how stressful somebody can be going through the real estate process.
Yes.
Because with you've been through countless of these.
I have.
And when you got a customer that's only been through maybe one, if that, and then up to, let's say, 4 or 5, most average person doesn't buy and sell homes all the time. So there's a lot of things that can come up. So
yeah, I'm selling, between like 40, 50 homes myself a year. So we've been through a lot of transactions and we've seen a lot, but there's always something new, and it is a little bit of a roller coaster ride. So we set the expectations with our clients ahead of time, and we tell them how the process is going to be, and we update them constantly on what's coming next. So their emotions and their standards are set. They know what's coming. They're not getting hit with all these surprises, and it really helps. Yeah.
They don't like surprises, do they?
No,
nobody does. And there are things that can be a surprise, right?
Yes, there can. On inspections, appraisals, timeline of the transaction, right? We have a buyer that we thought was pre-approved, and all of a sudden, they're having to change their jobs, or they put something on a credit card, even though we have told them, like, hey, let's not do that. So we have to navigate a lot of moving pieces, and just keep everybody, hey, it's okay. We're going to find a solution, and we're going to get to the next point of the process.
Yeah. And it is it always amazes me. I think because I'm in the business. So it's like, if you're going to finance something, to me, it's like a natural thing. You wouldn't just go out and spend, $50,000 on a new car without talking to the people that are financing you and say, hey, is it okay if I buy this car?
Right. You would think that everybody would think that way, but everybody doesn't.
No, they don't.
So I've had 3 people, I think, over my 13, 14 years of real estate that went out and bought a car during the transaction, even though we have it wrote down like do's and don'ts of, buying a home,
Right.
and that's part of it.
Yeah, it's a critical part.
They get excited and they're in that car lot and they think they can do both. I don't know.
And the car people tell them, don't worry about it. It's fine. Because they want to sell the car, but they don't have any idea.
No.
Fortunately, a lot of people call us before they do that.
Yeah, they
then,
do.
Yeah, then you can figure out if it is going to actually affect it. Because it's not that you can't do it. We prefer you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to look at it and make sure if they're barely qualifying, it could kill the deal. But if they're, it just depends.
Right.
But you really have to see it all.
Yeah, you as their lender can check out their whole
Yes.
profile and make sure this is okay,
Right.
or oh no, we just need to wait until we get to that closing date.
At the very minimum, it's going to create a lot of additional work for the borrower because they got to document everything now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're trying to get all this paperwork in for their timeline.
Yeah, and I think it's, as Ian was saying, I think it's a critical piece for a real estate agent to be able to calm people down
Mm-hmm.
because there's so much emotion through the process.
Mm-hmm.
So I sold new homes, so we had 6 months or 8 months of working with somebody, and it's amazing how the ups and downs people go through, and it's just in a much more condensed time frame when you're buying a house.
Yes, yeah, that's true. It's very emotional. You'll see
Yeah.
people at all levels.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the type of personality. I can see why you're so good at it because you're a calming personality. You don't, it seems like you don't get too excited about things. You keep your emotions out of it, but you just seem to have that the way you are is just calming.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I try to be. I think I can get more happily excited than down and like upset because I know if we get hit with something, I know there's always a solution. We can figure it out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, she just put together now. You should have seen her at the grocery store yesterday. Her hair was like all over the place.
Yeah,
And
mine too.
yeah, your hair is always all over the
My
place.
first thought was, I think when I have a bad day, I'm calling her.
Give me a call.
Yesterday was a bad day. I don't know why.
It was.
It was just.
It was the
wasn't
middle of the
really
week.
a bad day. It was just, how you go home. It was a weird day.
Yeah,
And
we have those.
yeah, it's
Sometimes
just
you
a
just
weird
have
day.
to take a little break and
Yeah.
get outside. It's what I do.
Yeah. So when somebody's looking for a real estate agent, what should they look for?
Okay, so there are a good amount of things that you should look for in a real estate agent. The number one is communication, because they are going to be your ally. They're going to be your number one go-to resource during the transaction, and you need them there to help guide you. That's why I love having a team, because not only do they have me, they have our other team members that have the knowledge that I have now to help them as well. So communication, somebody that you like to talk to and like to work with, because you're going to be on the phone with them and on emails and meeting them a lot. So you want somebody that you trust, that you like, and that can communicate well. Mm-hmm.
And also understand when you fall asleep at your desk because you've been up with a 3-month-old.
Yes, I'm on a lot of coffee these days. So I do have a 3.5-month-old baby, so it's been a little bit different, but it's brought a whole other goal. Why I sell real estate is to now fund her life. So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's you want a life like that, right? That's what everybody wants. You want, not everybody, but you want a family and you want to have a good career, and you have a phenomenal career, and now you have a great family. So you got it all going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you manage that? How do you manage the for you now have a baby?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you manage that inside your real estate
Well,
career?
I'm trying to figure it out. No. It's actually, it's new. It's exciting because I love it. And I have a good support system at home, so that helps a lot. Luckily now, after COVID, we all have Zoom, so I can do a lot of meetings on Zoom, as well as get out and show these properties and go out and meet new clients. So it's kind of fun. It's fun to connect with people in another way. I think the baby actually may be bringing more people to me, honestly, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you have something in common with other people.
Yeah.
And I think everybody loves a baby. I mean, I don't know of anybody who doesn't like babies.
I know.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
There probably are, but I don't remember any. So I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
You have a team in Florida, but you have a team here also. So tell us about what does your team make up here? What does it look like?
Our team here, we have a few agents on our team. We have a couple support staff, so listing manager, TC, transaction coordinator, admin. And we meet in the office, and we also do our meetings over Zoom. So we have agents strategically throughout Indianapolis.
Oh, awesome.
So we're not only on the northeast side where our office is located. We have a Keystone office and a Fisher's office. We are on the south side, on the west side. So we have somebody close by that can help. If you see a house that you like, there's somebody there that can go and show it. So
That's fantastic.
yeah. So I'm trying to build, a team that can reach out to anyone. The same with like our age groups and what people are liking to do. We have some agents that really want to focus on luxury, some that are investment properties, or with retirees like 55 plus communities. So
Is that new to real estate? Because I've been in it a long time, and I don't remember that being the case even 10, 12 years ago, or maybe it was starting then, but certainly 20 years ago. I don't remember most agents focusing and really, which I think is brilliant, really, but focusing, not that they won't do the others, but focusing on one type.
kind of niching down.
Yeah, niching. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more and more. I think you're right. Yeah. So, but as I talk to agents, it usually comes out while I'm trying to get to know them, who their demographic is and what they like doing. So if it is sports, their kids' sports, like that's who they're going to be reaching out to. If it's church, like what groups and people do you like? Because they're going to be, you're going to be a magnet to them.
And if somebody wants to get hold of you or your team, how would they do that?
So my name is Amber Gonzalez, and I'm a realtor with Keller Williams Realty. You can get a hold of me at 317-246-8066. That's my cell phone. Or find us online at AG Realty Advisors.
Awesome.
All right. And Rick, how would they get hold of you or I?
Go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or call 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. If you go online, you can get all of our contact information there, so you can contact us at the hardworkingmortgageguys.com.
All right. And this is the end of the radio show. So if you need to tune in the podcast side, go to Indy's Real Estate Gurus. All right. Hey, welcome back. And if this is where you've selected from the radio, you selected the right spot. So good job.
Always
Pat yourself
like
on the back.
Yep.
All right. So Amber is still here. She didn't run away. So thank you for staying. I mean, it's been a long time, but
Still here.
awesome. So one thing I always think is a very good question is what's your most memorable deal?
Goodness. The most memorable deal, I'm trying to think of what that one would be. There's so many. I think the ones that stick out to me the most are the ones where people are usually renting or trying to find that next place, because it can be overwhelming to feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck, and helping those people figure out, hey, there are loan programs that will fit your needs. Here's a great lender, and let's see what we can do. Let's make a game plan and find you that perfect home, so you can start building some equity.
I think that's a very good point, because what we find out is a lot of times people always thinking, oh, I must have 20% down. Well, no. You can do as little as 3 and 3.5, and there's also programs to help you get there. And it's interesting when you're talking to first-time home buyers, they don't understand there's a lot of options out there.
Yeah, there are so many options, and a lot of people are afraid to start digging into it and to see what that looks like to be able to purchase a home, because it's the unknown and they're afraid. So being able to be their like rock and their cheerleader and say, we can do this. We've helped so many people before you, and don't worry. Like, there is a program and there is a way we can get around this and figure out how to get you into that home.
Right. Sometimes you can do it right away. Sometimes it takes a little time. But you need a team to help you get through that, because if you're new to it, you don't know. So like for us, the first thing we do if there's credit issues is we run the credit, and then we run a system, and it'll tell us do this, do this, do this.
It's
right?
perfect.
But if you need major credit repair, then you have to go to a credit repair company, which we have also. But we try always to do the first piece because it's less expensive, it's much quicker, and even if somebody has good credit, sometimes if you can just get them great credit, and it's very easy sometimes.
Right.
They get a lot better option. They get lower rates, right?
Right. Yeah. That can make all the difference.
Yes.
It can make all the difference on, your long-term financial situation and the short-term on if you need like that extra bedroom or a little bit bigger of a yard. I'm talking to somebody Tuesday that was in the same scenario. They are in a limited price point, and we've been out looking at places, and it's just not what they're looking for. So talking to them, and I was like, let's just dig in deeper. Let's have you talk to a few more people, see what we can do. And now she can buy a $50,000 higher home than she once thought, and it puts her in a totally different home that she's going to be super happy with.
Well, I love what you do, and that you help make a plan. And because I think that's vitally important. It's one of the things, if I get it soon enough, I will work on also. It's like you have to have a plan, and here's what we have to do. Because it's why I said we believe in custom tailored loans. It's because there isn't a one size fits all.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
You have to understand, and then you have to say, okay, here's going to be your best option. Now, for the vast majority of people, it may be a conventional loan, but you shouldn't just run there.
Right.
Right?
Yep. It might not be the best fit for you.
Right. And you got to look at it, and also it could change by time. As markets change, it could change what you want to do. Like for a while, it was very difficult to get an FHA loan, accepted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you have to figure out other ways.
We
and
had
a lot
to
of people, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. We had to get very creative, creative.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that a first-time home buyer on FHA needs 3.5% down, but you can go on a conventional for 3% down. It's actually lower.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. There's so many people that don't know that.
Yes, they don't. They don't. And then there's programs. I don't think they're the greatest programs, but we offer them. And meaning that to get the benefit, it costs you quite a bit. But Indiana Housing, you have no money down. Where they'll loan you the down payment, those kind of things. And for the right people, it gets them in a house. And that's why they have to get with somebody and talk to them.
Especially a local lender, because a lot of lenders that are not local don't know the programs we have here locally.
Right.
So I find that a lot too. And they're like, no, nobody's ever told me about that. They didn't say that could be an option. And so to guide them to somebody that's very knowledgeable and will communicate and really dig deeply is very important.
Right. They have to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And just be prepared for that.
Yeah, because that makes some people nervous.
Yes.
But the more honest and open you are, the better we can help you.
Yeah. But I'm sure you have to do the same thing. When you get a customer, when you get a client who's looking to buy a house, you have to ask a tremendous amount of questions to help them get to the end point that they're happy with.
Exactly.
And
to
that's
find
why
out.
you have huge, positive, what are they called? Recommendations, reviews. There you
Reviews,
go.
yes.
Reviews. I
Yes.
finally got there.
Hey, people still recommend her too. Do
Yeah,
not.
the reviews.
Thank goodness they do, yes.
Yeah. Oh, I like recommendations myself.
We'll take them if you guys want to give us some.
And you close so many houses. It's amazing to be able to do that volume. I mean, that is 40 to 50 homes a year, right?
I was doing that with no admin support. So no transaction coordinator, no admin,
crazy?
no marketing person. I know. I was burning the candle on both ends.
Yeah.
So I was working from sunup to way past sundown. And it was fun. Like I did really enjoy it. But at some point you have to sleep.
Yeah. It's not good for you if you don't.
No, but it was so fun. It was so fun building it, meeting so many people and getting them to the point that they wanted to, that it didn't bother me to be working all the time. Now I have a 3.5-month-old, so I am teaching other people how to do that as well, how to build leverage, how to go through our systems and processes, and, they can do the same volume of business, but in half of the time.
Right.
And
it's important because you need your time, but if you did the job, which you did, then you can teach somebody to do the job because you know how to do it, and you can make sure it stays under the way you want your team to be.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. We all want to be doing things the same way so they're getting the same high level of service no matter who they're talking to. Yeah.
That's huge, I think. So what do you find you have a team now, what do you find you're spending most of your time on as a real estate agent? Not your 3.5 months old. How much?
Really talking with my team. I'm there chatting with them every day, doing trainings with them, changing, real estate's ever changing. So we're investing in our time, learning the market, staying up to date with it, learning new technology, finding great people, and then connecting them. So I'm talking to my agents constantly, as well as my clients. So time blocking's huge. I block out certain points of my day for my agents, for my clients. Just working in the business more too. So thinking, okay, I got to set this time of day, and I have to think about how can we do things more effectively? How can we help more people? Instead of just being driven by the tasks that have to get done every day, because we get in this momentum where we think, we have to go, and we don't stop and look inside our business. And I think that's really important, and that's changed my business a lot.
I think time blocking, and I'm someone who fought it for years.
Yeah.
Okay. And now that I do it, it's absolutely one of the most freeing things that you can possibly do. You know exactly what you're going to do. Like my personal trainer today said, "So, you got a busy day?" I said, "Yeah, at 8:30, I got a call at 9:30 to 11:30." I mean, it's like he's like, "Whoa, how do you know all that?"
Exactly, my calendar's color coded.
You know exactly what you're doing. It's beautiful, and because of that, you don't get those times, which is what I would run into. I don't know if you did, where it's like, okay, I know there was something I wanted to do, and I got 30 minutes to do it, but I don't remember what it is. Now it's like, it's in my calendar. If it's not in the calendar, it doesn't get done. You better put it, I have to put it in there. My team has to put it in there.
Yeah, if it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist.
That's right. So you have your baby in there, I'm hoping.
I do. She's in there. Yeah, I live by my calendar. So, and it's nice because time blocking too, you have a scheduled focused time on one thing, and you don't let anything interrupt that, and you protect that time. And then you go to the next thing. And instead of being drawn back and forth, where you're not really finishing anything, you are focused in on the one thing that you need to be focused in on during that time.
And the reason I wanted to hit on that is I think it's really important for people who aren't doing it. It can really help you get so much more done in the same amount of time.
It can. We've created a system within our team because it's so important on how to time block with examples and how it can save you so much time.
Well, it has to help that you do it so you can teach it and they can see that it works.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, without any help, you were closing 50 homes a year. Without any help. Correct. That's incredible.
Thank you.
I mean, it takes a tremendous amount of time.
It was a lot of doing like social media marketing, early in the morning before I can make phone calls and send out emails with people thinking that I'm crazy sending emails out at 2 a.m. And then at nighttime, finishing up contracts and setting up for the next day, calendaring my next day out. So
how do you market? Like how do you do that? How do you bring to do that much volume? You have to do a good job of bringing people in. Right? And so what is your plan? How do you do that?
So we, of course, work our database. We have calls with everyone where we're reaching out to them a couple times a quarter, at least via the phone. They're getting emails. We're doing client events so we can bring people together, which is my favorite thing to do, right? We're just having a party for our clients, and we try to mix it up so it reaches maybe families, maybe young adults, older adults. So different things that we're doing to bring people together. And then to find more people that we don't know, we love to get referrals from people we've used. And we're reaching out on social media a ton. So we calendar our social media. We time block it. And we try to calendar it at least a month ahead so we know what's going out. Of course, if we are going to an event that pops up, then we take something out and put something else in there. but we're always trying to stay in front of our audience, in front of our customers, and all the avenues that we can these days, which there's so many.
Yeah, there are. Do you have somebody who does the social media for you, or do you do that yourself?
So I used to do it all myself, but now I do have someone that helps with the posting of it. So if I'm obviously doing a story on social media or creating a video, I'm doing that. Sometimes I have them put it together, but they're doing like our daily posting, and then I go in and approve everything and send them ideas throughout for the next month.
Okay, because that's time consuming. Social media is not that expensive.
Yes.
But it's very time consuming.
It can be very time consuming. Yeah. It can be very you got to think of the ideas. You're constantly evaluating what you're putting out there, and it needs to be something people want to see. It can't always be like, I sold this today, I pinned this. It needs to come from value.
Yes.
And you got to remember, every time you do a video, you got to do it like 10 times before you get the right one.
No. We do our videos and we send them out. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of our agents, they get hung up in taking a video and redoing it and taking a video and redoing it and never putting it out there. And guess what? If it's never out there, it's not going to work. So let's just get it out there is what I say.
Yeah, getting it out there is more important than having it perfect.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I mean, if it's terrible, you want to redo it. But
yes. Okay.
We always think we're all terrible.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It is.
Yes.
And the more you're uncomfortable, you're going to start getting comfortable doing those things.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I did some earlier this week. And when I went to send them to my social media person, I was listening to it. And it's one I decided I had to redo it because it was terrible. And when I listened to it, I was like, that wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? It was fine.
It was good. They could have just sent that out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she got both of them.
We're our worst critics sometimes. So.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's harder to do that on your own. And I think your way is a great way. Do it. Get it out.
Yeah. Just send it out.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like here. We're not perfect. We make plenty of mistakes, but we just keep going.
Yeah.
We hope nobody notices.
We're human.
You make the mistakes.
We're human.
Well, I do. I make the most, I'm sure.
So let's get, when we're talking about, newer agents, what do you think, because I know there's a high turnover rate, especially with realtors.
Uh-huh.
Why do you think a lot of them fail?
I do think it is not linking up with people that are doing it successfully already. I think if they do get with a great mentor or on a great team, you're going to succeed if you plug into their systems and processes. Doing it on your own, it can be overwhelming because there's so much that you're learning. You're learning how to build your database. You're learning how to work your database system. You're learning how to do your website. You're negotiating. There's just so many things. If you plug in with somebody that has the systems and the processes already and you follow those, you are going to be successful.
That's very good advice.
Yes.
Because it's critical.
It is, and it sounds so simple, but for some reason, people want to go the hard way. They want to start out on their own, but in reality, you link up with people that are doing it. You figure out what works for you out of those systems, and you make it your own. Yeah,
I always tell people, when you first do it, you have no right to change it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to make it my personality. I don't care.
That's true.
You have no right to change it.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're doing yet. And the reason
you don't know what's working and what's not working.
Yes. And what do they cut out?
The part that's working.
Absolutely. Every single time. Every time they cut out that, because that's the hardest part.
Yeah. Asking the tough questions.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
For us, we ask for referrals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is the first thing somebody will cut out because they don't want to ask for referrals. I don't ask for referrals. Well, how do you get them? If you don't ask, you don't get. Right?
Yeah, they don't know that you want them then.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to ask. So it's like, but it's the first thing a inexperienced person will do. And if you think about a referral, it's good for us, obviously, right? It's good for us. But is it also good for that customer? It's good to get somebody like you to be their real estate agent?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's critical. So why would you not ask? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get it, but you would think that would be.
They feel like they're bothering them by asking, and
Yes.
you're not. You're helping them, and by not helping them, you're doing a very big disservice. They could get with an agent or a lender that doesn't know what they're doing and lose a lot of money and a lot of time.
Yes, and be misled or led down the wrong path, or they didn't get the service that you offer.
Correct.
Right, and I think that's critical.
Well, I think one thing that people can also take, if you make it more of a fun thing, after a little while, like Rick and I always have ours the way we do it. Well, after a little while, people go, yes, I know. If I know any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy or sell, refinance, contact you. Like, hey, great. I'm glad you got it.
It's stuck in your head.
Yep.
You have it down.
But it is nice because then they know what's coming, and you can make it more of a joke.
Yeah,
and
like,
it's
you know,
kinda
I'm
fun.
calling. Yeah.
Yeah, and they know.
They do. And I mean, if you've done a great service for them and you've done a great job, they're not going to be shy to refer you to your
No.
friends and family, like you're saying. Like,
Right.
it's helping their friends and their family.
Yes.
Without telling them, they could go to somebody that, really could hurt their success in their real estate transaction.
Yeah. I know for me, I'm the one people call for referrals. They call me. I mean, friends, family, my neighbors, everybody. If they need somebody, they call me because I know so many people.
I had somebody text on our group chat in our neighborhood today and asked if we knew anybody that had a gutter cleaning, and I had 3 people I immediately sent them to.
Yes.
Like that. So it's connecting people.
Yeah, and the beauty of that is because you have 3 and you send them out, if all of a sudden one of them falls down, you get rid of that one and you don't refer it anymore. Because I had a gutter cleaning company and they were great, and then they weren't.
Yeah, that happens a lot. We are constantly changing over our recommended vendor list always, because sometimes they're great and then sometimes they get some new people and they're not so great.
Right, and you don't want. It's a reflection on you.
Yes.
But I know real estate agents are always everybody. If you work with somebody, they almost always call you for recommendations for anything they need on their house.
Yeah, because we're always working with, stagers and carpet people and roof people, windows, so the list goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, what happens if somebody calls me and I don't have somebody, I just had one.
Look for someone.
I did. I call a real estate agent.
There you go.
I call the agents I work with, and I say, hey, listen, who do you have that does this? Mm-hmm. And then that's who I recommend, because the agent, I know if you're recommending them,
yes,
they're good.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
I know that.
Yeah, and if one time my client says they didn't show up, or they overcharged us $2,000 or whatever the case, like, okay, well, I'm gonna call that person, see what happened, and then I'm not gonna be recommending them anymore.
Right. Yeah, you always have to call them, because
sometimes there's something.
There's always 2 sides of a story.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, and there can be misunderstandings and things like that, but you can't recommend somebody that doesn't do the job and stay in good graces with your clients, right?
Right.
So you have to do that. Yeah, I think that's great. What are you most excited about as you look like through the rest of this year?
I am most excited about growing our team. So we really have laid the foundation down for it and got these systems and processes in place. And now I'm just ready to plug in other agents and just watch their success. I thrive on helping people. So when I set my goals, they always seem to be about helping other people as well. That is what fuels me and keeps me going. So I'm just really excited about adding people to the team and watching how we can grow their lives and our customers' lives. But yeah.
Yeah. Because you affect so many people.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect.
Yes.
And it's really fun to see when it starts going and working, and the smiles and the happiness, and it's just really neat to see.
Well, there's so many things when somebody buys a house. It's amazing when you start thinking about it. Number one, it builds a lot of equity. It builds their wealth, right? Mm-hmm. Number one, because I'm in mortgages and in finance, so that's high on my list.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah, it is a huge thing. But you think about it. You put them in a they end up in a neighborhood. Now the people they meet are all in the neighborhood, right? And all those people, their kids go to school at a certain place. They probably end up getting married to somebody because of where they.
That is wild to think about.
Yes.
Yeah, that is. Mm-hmm.
It affects everything.
It does affect everything.
It matters what you do.
What school they're going to,
yes.
where they're going to the grocery store, who they're going to encounter.
So you guys saying we're little puppeteers and we're just playing with people? I want you to move
No.
over here.
No, it's not what we want. It's what they want.
Yeah, it is what
I
they
know.
want. So, yeah, it's really fun to put the puzzle together and figure out what they're looking for, because sometimes they don't know, and you just ask the handful of questions, and all of a sudden you've laid out the game plan for them, and it's like, okay, it sounds like this is what you're saying. Is this correct? And their lights go off like, yes, like that is exactly what I want. And then we get on the ground and we go find it.
Yeah. You're a lot like a coach then, because that's what my coach does. I mean, I think I know what I'm doing. I've done it a long time and everything else, but it's amazing what the coach, he'll listen and go, well, why don't you try this? It's like, well, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, it is funny when you
Too close.
you start doing things and you're in it and you can't think outside of what you've always done sometimes, and you need an outside opinion like a coach or a mentor.
Yep. Well, on that note, we're running out of time.
Okay.
What is the best way for somebody to get a hold of you if they have any real estate needs?
Well, my name is Amber Gonzalez. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams. You can call me on my cell phone, which is 317-246-8066. And you can find us online at AG Realty Advisors.
Awesome. And if you need to get a hold of Ian or I, it's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. And please follow us so you don't miss an episode.
And reminder, if you know anyone looking to buy, sell, or refinance that are friends, family, or coworkers, contact Rick or I, and we'll be more than happy to help them.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Branch NMLS number 33041. Rick Rittman's NMLS number 664589. Ian Arnold's NMLS number is 1995469. Equal housing opportunity. Some restrictions apply.